Yo, what's up, guys? Let's go over my two trades I took today. They were shorts on the indices, so it had a lot to do with the overnight expansion, just like my silver trade. As you can see, absolutely huge expansion overnight. You're not going to continue in New York session. It's quite unlikely. So I'm just looking for a retracement back into the daily range, and not even a big one, to be honest. I kind of got greedy, you could say, maybe. Like, I could have probably just go for like fixed R. That's something you could do in a day like this because you don't really know how far it's going to go. But I figured this was fine, like this gap here, as it was not even in discount of the range. I thought it was fine, but obviously price did not get there. But that's okay. So we're going to show you how I manage this and everything. So if we pull up YM here, YM right here. All right, we can see if we zoom in here, let's take out this premium discount tool. All right, ball replay it to about right here. Yeah, right here. You can see that we kind of like broke SMT because it's a bit weird, right? So this 5 o'clock high is actually right here. Obviously, there's no swing point high, but there's over here. So it kind of consolidated, swept and broke the SMT, which creates a divergence like this. It's almost like this, right? Looks like that. And it also creates this PSP, as you can see. But at 9:30, this asset, being YM, re-sweeps the high. And if you look up inside here, we didn't really have a reversal put in anyways. Right, when I ball replay right to 9:30, there's clearly no reversal put in, right? So that SMT is like slightly irrelevant, right? Because obviously if this is a reversal here, this would be it. Like we should continue. Like there's probably a C2 candle right here, probably, right? Yeah, there's a C2 candle right here, and we should be expanding now. We should be creating 30-minute hourly expansion candles, but it's not happening, right? This is what I mean by just wait for 9:30 to confirm like early market reversals, because a lot of times they're just fake. Really want to wait for right before the driver. So here's right before the driver, and you clearly see that gets invalidated with this deep retracement back of the range. Right, so I'm looking for 9:30. Like literally here's 9:30, guys. The next candle, obviously it's going to hit the high. So I'm really just looking for price to create SM2 at the high and then reverse, because this is the only area for price to reverse from. There's nothing beyond this high to reverse from. This is a really good thing to see, like not a really good thing to see, but it's like it's really obvious to know that we're likely going to retrace at 9:30 when you have such a large range. It's like pretty easy stuff, to be honest. And we created this gap here on the lower time frame, and that's what I entered on. And I know this asset is not reversing, but I know it's likely to reverse the next 15-minute candle, right? That's what I was kind of assuming, because this candle has a large wick, right? So it's probably just waiting to create a PSP. You can already assume it's going to do that, and it does end up doing that, and creates a two-stage PSP, as you can see. So the way I managed this, guys, was I did not move my stop loss, for example, like when we created this CSD. I did not move my stop loss here, like I teach in my video just yet. That is because we had not run out this high here. We're creating equal highs. So there's a reason for why I have to continue, but also this is a 5-minute gap high. So that lower time frame little swing or order block is actually a 5-minute gap. So you don't want to do that, because we could easily just retrace this 5-minute gap. Even though it's small, you don't want to trailer your stop losses to like higher time frame gaps, even though it's a 5-minute gap. You don't want to be doing that on a lower time frame too much. You gotta be careful. If that swing high on lower time frame is just a 5-minute gap, it's barely even a retracement. It's a very small one. Now, the lower in the range you do this, the worse. Like it's worse. You can sometimes get away with doing it higher in the range because we shouldn't really be retracing that high. But with YM not totally reversing it, it's too risky to do, in my opinion. So I waited for this asset to actually run the high. So there it goes. This is what I mean. When YM goes higher to go and manipulate, that's going to cause NQ to also retrace. And you don't know where it's going to retrace to. You just want to keep your stop loss up here, because this is not protected just yet. So when we started to do this, okay, now it's protected because now technically this high is SMT, right? So now it is indeed protected. So that's when I can go break even. And look, I'm only up 1.2R and I can go break even that fast, guys, logically. And yeah, that's why I tell you guys that you shouldn't be afraid to enter. It's just a skill to know when and where to, not partial, but I'm partial too, but mainly managing your risk and not getting too FOMO, not doing it too early and stuff like that. That is a skill, but when you get it down, like you shouldn't be afraid to enter trades at all. But anyways, we create this nice 3-minute gap over here as well on YM, which I really loved. All right, so now you're seeing the strongest asset over here is actually reversing. And you're going to see on the 10 a.m. closure, or the 6 a.m. 4-hour closure, I should say, we can see that NQ expanded away, actually reversed into expansion. And we can see this asset did print not a reversal candle, but this is why we don't care about like closing in the previous candle's range, like necessarily. We don't really care about that. We care about what we see inside of that candle, right? Because what we see inside of that candle is clearly a reversal, okay? Right? Even like mechanically, you don't have a C2 closure. Who gives a shit? All right? That's a pattern. We don't care about the pattern. When I look inside this wick here, like what did it do? There's a 2-stage SMT, right? And there's a clear lower time frame shift, right? So if we already reversed, then we're going to expand in the next candle, right? It's just so happened that we reversed so late in the 4-hour candle that there's not enough time to go and create that 4-hour C2. You know what I'm saying? But you can clearly see that we're opening up near this 3-minute gap here at 10 a.m. So this next candle is going to open up in this lower time frame range, which it should continue from, right? So that would be your intracandle CSD when we close below here. But this is even better because of what we see on ES. So I'm explaining my second trade, by the way, on YM, because we know that these other assets hit lows to left, but YM didn't, right? So what do we want to see? A strength switch. So here's your closure, right? So when you go to ES over here, what do we see? This is also a beautiful sequence here on ES as well, where ES is more so in this gap. Let me show you. ES was like in this gap while this asset ran this high. That was also cool as well. If you wanted to take ES, you had these like relative equal lows as a target. So like really nice scalp day if you really wanted to. But anyways, where was I here? Oh yeah, it's the 15-minute time frame. So if I bar replay a little bit, it's gonna be down here. So notice how this asset took out this low. We mark that same low. Took out this low. So we want to see if this asset can catch up. And what do we see? Bullish candle, bearish candle. Right? This asset's way in discount, printing a bullish candle. This asset's way in premium, printing a bearish candle. You get your 2-stage PSP, which is not a key level, but it's a strength switch. So it's honestly fine to me. And the reason why it's fine, like you're not trading the 15-minute C2. Like you technically are, but you're trading a C3 on the hourly. This is why it's fine to do. Okay. So that 2-stage, really a continuation PSP on the 15-minute is just confirming the high of the C3 here, right? And the high of 10 a.m., as you can see. So it's GxT continuation sequence because we're technically opening up within a C3, right, at 10 a.m. So that's why this is fine to enter here. Get your little close right there. Little strength switch SMT. Right, so I entered that. Looking for an SMT break. But I got greedy again. I wanted to see this little swing low. I want to see all these little lows being taken because that was inside of a gap on the 4-hour. So kind of got like a little overzealous with my entry, my target, maybe a little greedy. These were definitely like, it's a great trade. Like it went far. Like both my trades went far. They did what I wanted to, right? Right. Like they went back into the daily range, just not as far as I anticipated or wanted them to go, and that's fine. It is what it is. So this is the trade. Let's pull up in Q over here. You can see that it got really close to my TP, which is very annoying. not. My target was lower than this, bro. Yeah, I don't know why this is not appearing. That's why. Yeah, my TP was down here on NQ for about 4R. And over here I was looking for almost 5R. So yeah, so it hit this target here. It broke the SMT, which you wanted, so the asset synchronization technique worked. And you're gonna see here, man, it's just annoying. Look at NQ, bro. Look how close that got. Super sucky, but yeah, great stuff. I mean, we can still, you can still make a lot of money. I'm sure a lot of you guys took this as well. So good job on you guys. Pretty easy day in my opinion. Like as far as like knowing where price is gonna go, it's just for me just didn't go as far as I wanted to, and then it started bullshitting. And so obviously this asset, I did not even trail anywhere, so I was up like almost 3 hour. So that really sucks, but that's just how I trade, dude. I probably should have partialed. I'm not gonna lie, probably should have partialed there. I just did it. I'm not the biggest fan of partialing. Like, I guess I don't really do it that much, but I like to hold my trades. It's just how I personally trade. But it is totally fine to partial there, dude. Like, this is what I mean. Like, trade management is so personalized, with how you trade and stuff like that. So this is what I do personally. It's not saying that you should do it. This is what I do though. And so also how I manage trades. Like I went like break even pretty quick, right, at 1 hour. But it's not about how far the trade goes. It's about like logically knowing when to do it, when it's safe and stuff like that. So I kind of tried to teach that this weekend. That's just how I trade, right? You don't have to do that. Some people don't use break evens at all. They trade on model. Hey, that's fine, dude. But yeah, so I got break even over here, and I didn't trail anything over here because there's no protected thing. There's no protected level anywhere. So I just let it go. I was getting ready to take this break even too, man, to be honest, but it didn't quite get there. Got really close. And I think I just end up closing like right here for like 2R. Because it was not looking good because look how, if I just delete all these drawings, look how high this asset is like retracing. Look at this. It's retracing like way in OTE. Like that's not really the best continuous signature I've ever seen in my life. So I'm just like, dude, let me just not be greedy. And thank God because there's only like 2 hours left in the day. It got close, bro. It did end up going, but dude, if I held this again, I would have been pissed because it just edged me. It just edged again. It just edged this gap again, dude. Like creating equal lows. There's no SMT right here. So, yeah. And I'm not. You can't really be so surprised because that's kind of bullshitting. Because like you have such a large range higher, like you're gonna get retracement consolidations, and those signatures are not like very expanding. Like that's not an expanding market. So it makes sense where we're like edging and shit. It's not a big surprise. That's why I didn't target something very far. I didn't think this was very far. Looking back at it, obviously it was, but that's why I was just targeting like premium gap. Like I wasn't going for like EQ or like the current day low or nothing like that. But it ended up being too much demanding too much. So yeah, that's it, guys. That's my trade recap, and those are my 2 trades. Really good trades though. And yeah, man, plus 2R on indices could have been a lot more, but hey, man, we'll take it. Still blessed. Hopefully, you guys still learned something. And yeah, catch you guys later.